This right here, folks, is my super dirty Core i7 6700K computer. Tonight we're going to make it not so super dirty and install a brand new M.2 hard drive in it. I built this computer a little over a year ago. It's actually been a really nice computer. Originally had a 970 graphics card, GTX 970 graphics card. I actually ended up removing that, and now it has a Gigabyte 1070. It's a nice fast card that, as you can see, it kind of lives in a bit of a bad spot, and it ended up collecting a lot of grossness, which is why we're in the garage today, because out here I can make a mess. It's not the end of the world. Alright, so the first kind of part of today's thing that we're doing, I'm going to pull out the video card. Unfortunately, this just has a couple of really nice little thumb screws to hold the whole thing in. And there's a release tab back under here. Let go. There it goes. There it is. All right. So that gives me access. Nice little card. I've been pretty happy with this one, even though I've only had it a short while. So we'll set that down. Alright, so that is what we're after right there. And it looks like we're going to need to move that riser to accommodate it. Okay. So the whole point of the video is we're installing this little bugger today. Yep, we're going to need to move that. so that's all back in. Now we'll get some of the drives swapped around. And the thing I'm going to show in the end here is we're actually going to clone my master drive, which is this little black one right here. And we're going to clone it to the new M.2 drive. And then we'll wipe this drive out, and I'm changing the way this computer is set up. So it'll have, because I have a big 2 terabyte archive drive, and what I want to do is set this up where I have a couple of basically like cache drives that I can dump when I'm doing video editing. I can just dump them onto a solid state, and then move them to the 2 terabyte Western Digital Black for long-term storage. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how it actually all works out in the end, but it should be interesting. Okay, so as you can see here, I got up my File Explorer, and this is how I wanted to basically configure my drives. My C drive is my new M.2 drive. My D drive is, as I've labeled them here, is my cache drive. So like when I'm bringing in and doing video editing, I'll have an SSD to pull the data directly off of, and it's just going to be a work drive. I might not end up keeping this this cache drive, but yeah, my C, it's a bigger drive. It actually has, now that I've done a clean install of Windows, there's a lot more room available, and so the cache drive might actually end up going to my kid's computer at some point. My archive is a 2 terabyte Western Digital Black, and then I have a repurposed PlayStation 4 drive that's on my recovery drive, and and the only thing it's set to recover at this point is the main drive, because the cache drive, I have backups for all that info before, so if anything ever happened to that, I can just replace it. But so what I ended up having is, like, right in between the black drive and the cache drive, it had an additional drive, which I went through and was using the Windows utility to, or the utility in the install program to basically remove all the partitions on the drive. Well, I ended up having data loss because I clicked the wrong partition and deleted one of the 3 partitions for the local disk C. So anyway, we're going to go over here and we'll okay. So if you do a star and then you do disk, it'll anything that has disk in the title. So you bring up this program, create folders and partitions. Yeah, the disk management tool. This is a really nice one. So as you can see, I actually have the top 4 aren't even listed. These are the partitions for the SSDs, I believe. And yeah, and that's what I said with some of these, they end up with these weird like system reserved ones, and I don't want to see those. So, but basically, when you go down this lower section, so the and again it shows up recovery drive R. If I wanted one of these to be visible, I can click here. I can, let's see, you go to change drive letters and paths. You can add, and that'll allow you to add in any of these partitions. And you can do the same thing if you want to hide it. So if it shows up as something in this field up here, you can just highlight it, click remove, and then the drive will vanish from your inventory. And that was ultimately what I was trying to do. I was trying to remove from this list down here the additional drive, because it's completely useless due to its size. You can't even can't hardly put a few pictures on one of those drives. Plus they're system reserved, so they don't let you add anything to them anyway. But anyway, so that was one of those things I learned the hard way. Fortunately, I had backups for pretty much everything that was on my main drive, because I don't entirely trust SSDs at this point. They're still, I don't know, they're just spooky, because if anything goes wrong, you just lose everything. And yeah, so we'll see how I feel about them in a few more years. But anyway, yeah, that's this system tool. Yeah, it allows you to hide what you don't want to see. Because like, yeah, here's my C drive, and it has two pieces of it that are, and as you click on it, so I clicked on that one, it showed me exactly which one it is in this main list. Same thing with that one, so you can actually see what's what when you're looking at the main list there. But anyway, that's pretty much it. So things I learned and I thought I'd pass on.